Okay, this video is looking at market failure. So market failure is Roman numeral 3 because we already talked about 1 with the free enterprise system and 2 we talked about a modified free enterprise system, and now we're talking about market failure. Market failure is basically this idea that sometimes third parties are affected, somebody who is not involved in an interaction, not involved in making the product, not involved in buying the product, but they're still affected by it. They either benefit or pay the cost of an interaction. So there's a couple of different ways that markets can fail. In a pure market system, you have a lot of market failure. In a modified free enterprise economy or a mixed economy like we're talking about, the government may get involved to try and prevent market failure, or try at least minimize market failure. Now, the one market failure that I want to talk about in this video is the idea of public goods. Public goods are products that are provided by the government, but they are provided to everyone as a group. So the group as a whole uses them. So this would be in the case of if you're talking about street lights, okay? The street lights that the city puts out are there for everyone. Just because I walk down the street at night and use the vision from the street lights doesn't mean it's any less for you when you walk down the street 5 minutes later. That's what a public good is. Lots of different public goods out there. Public goods also have this idea that people can't be excluded from the benefits of the product even if they don't pay for it. I'll give you for instance. One public good would be the military. We have the military provided to us by the government, and it is providing national defense. Okay? Now let's say, for example, this will also illustrate why the government provides them and not private companies. But let's say, for example, that I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to have a private business that's separate from military that is going to provide national defense. So I come up with this wonderful idea where I am going to provide an invisible force field that goes over the entire country. And so this invisible force field is going to go over the entire country, and it's going to protect us from a bunch of stuff coming in, and we can decide what's going in and what's going out. All I need from you is everybody needs to pay $200 per person. So, would you pay? Well, some people would pay. I'd probably get at least some people to pay if I could prove that it works, right? But there would be some people that wouldn't pay for a variety of reasons. Maybe that be that they can't afford it, or maybe they just don't want to. But let's think about this. If I have Joe Schmo over there that is not willing to pay, okay, can I go and, if I have enough people that'll pay and I put up this invisible force field, I can't really go and have this hole in my force field that follows Joe Schmo around no matter where he goes because he didn't pay. Okay? Same thing here is that police and fire protection, okay, they are kind of a public good. Okay, if you go and call 911, the operator is not going to go and look in their computer and type in your name and say, oh, you didn't pay your taxes. Sorry, we're not sending an ambulance to you. Can't do that. Once it's out there, a public good is provided, you can't take it back and you can't restrict it. So sometimes there will be people out there who don't pay for a product but still receive the benefits of that product. This is what we call a free rider. So a free rider is somebody who doesn't pay but still gets the benefits. A good example of this, fireworks. 4th of July. Who puts on fireworks? Who pays for those fireworks? The people that pay for them are oftentimes city governments. Okay, so these city governments will put them on. Have you ever had to pay for fireworks? If you have, you were robbed. Because think about it. Why would you pay for fireworks? People are going to charge you money. You're like, well, heck, screw this. I'm going to go and sit in my car in the parking lot, or go in my house and sit on the roof, right? Because I don't have to pay for fireworks. I can just watch them for wherever, and I don't have to pay for them. That's a free rider. Somebody who doesn't pay but still gets the benefits. Because again, you can't restrict public goods from people that don't pay. You just can't. Which is part of the reason why private companies don't provide them. It's not beneficial to them. They're not going to make any money off from it. One person's use of a public good doesn't diminish the use for other people. Like I said, just because I'm walking down the street and enjoying the lovely street lights at night, it doesn't mean that you can't then do it later, okay? Or at the same time as me. Or just because you're enjoying the fireworks doesn't mean that I can't come along and enjoy the fireworks. Another example of a public good is oftentimes infrastructure. Infrastructure are things that are required for society to function, things like highways, water systems, trash systems, those kinds of things. These are going to be paid by the public and the private sectors. So, for example, if you're talking about the toll road, okay, in northern Indiana, the I-80-90 toll road, that's an example of an infrastructure because it is partially paid for, it was partially paid for by the government, but also we have a private company that is now running it and collecting fees on it to be able to maintain the road, okay? So examples of public goods could be street lights, could be fireworks, could be police and fire protection, but when you contribute to once the government puts a public good out there, they can't exclude it from people that don't pay for it. And just because I use it doesn't mean that you can't use it. Okay. This public goods game. This is the game that we played in class with the cards. So if you don't know what this is, we're going to talk about it more in class. But everybody got 4 cards, 2 red and 2 black. And when what happened was that for every red card you kept in your hand, you got 4 points. For every red card you gave me, the class as a whole got 1 point. Okay, so I came around and I collected cards from each person. The black cards were worth nothing. They were only in there as a distractor, so nobody knew what you contributed. So this was like an example of a public good, because every time you gave me a red card, it was like you were contributing to a public good, because it was helping everybody as a whole. Okay. However, we did have some free riders who people didn't contribute at all to a public good, and they still benefited from it. All right, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.